Do you ever wonder how developers and investors instantly spot opportunities when looking at a piece of land? The secret is using tools like the Parcel Viewer, and these interactive GIS maps exist all around the country. Whether you're checking ownership, zoning, or lot dimensions, this tool can save you hours of research and help you make smarter, faster decisions. Hey, I'm Josephine, real estate developer and coach, and in today's video, I'm going to give you a complete walkthrough of how to use the Parcel Viewer like a pro, so you can start finding profitable land deals before anyone else. So the example I'm going to use here is the Nashville Metro Parcel Viewer. And again, this is going to be all around the country, the case just in different variations. Some tools are better than others. And first, we're going to be talking about accessing the tool. So you go to the Nashville Davidson County Metro Parcel Viewer site. So you can just Google Metro Nashville GIS. And so whatever county you're in, you can do the same for that county. So now I'm going to show you how to search by address, Parcel Viewer, and an owner name. This is Nashville's Parcel Viewer. Again, you can just go to any kind of a Parcel Viewer in the country by Googling your county or the city, and then you type in interactive GIS map. Some tools are better than others. This one here is pretty good. There's actually even a new version, so you just click continue here. And then now I want you to see how to find properties by parcel, address, or the owner name, right? So here we can just use an address. Let's just use 305 South 10th. That's actually a property we're about to acquire and close on here. So I'm just going to show you guys. There's going to be a 6-unit development here. And let's see. So here you see the address, right? You see the current owner. In this instance, actually, we're acquiring the LLC. We're actually not even going to acquire just the parcel itself. We're taking over the LLC, which is going to be another video here sometime soon. Anyway, in this Parcel Viewer tutorial here, you see how to look at a opportunity, right? So you basically see very quickly here, the frontage dimension is 59 square feet. We have the side dimension of 209 feet. So it's a really beautiful piece of land. And I see that the current use here is like single family. There's just like an old single family on there, right? And I see also the total square footage. So 12,000 square feet, almost 13. And I see it has an alley in the back. There's some mixed use around it. And now I have a lot of different other features here that I want you to see and learn. So I'm going to move me over here so I can show you. You see the history of the ownership. So actually here, an Academy member of ours bought this last year and did some work pre-development, and we're going to be acquiring it from him. So we're actually doing also deals here within the Academy. And then you see that it was historic, or it actually still is historic. It says current, status current. On this one here, it says historical. And we can verify whether it's still historic by going to zoning, and it says overlay and HC. And you can always Google those, but this stands for overlay and then historic. And it has also a urban zoning overlay, which for us actually means that we don't necessarily have to provide parking here, like in Metro and Nashville. That's very unique. If you're outside of the UCO here, then actually you do have to have additional parking spots here per bedroom. And we see that it's currently RM28. So ultimately, this is telling us that, hey, this is medium high density. So I get all of the information right here, right? And I see that before it was R6. Okay. All right. So I also see any kind of permit history, assessment history. Ultimately, this is not as relevant right now, but I also see any kind of stormwater information. Here, actually, I am going to shift over to the layers, because now here on the right-hand side, you can see that I have different opportunities here to click on, right? So I see, for example, here, the floodplain. So if I zoom actually out, I'm just going to show you guys. Then I see here the Cumberland River gives us the floodplains, right? And then sometimes have some other, creeks in between that could also flood an area. So actually here, when you drop into this little guy, the arrow, it shows you here also even like the 50-year and the 100-year floodplain. So let's zoom out. I also do have the opportunity here to actually see the contour elevations, which is really crucial. So I'm going to zoom back in here actually, and I am going to be able to see whether this is flat or sloped, right? So I see up here that I have really wide lines here, and that shows me already that as they're becoming here more narrow, that actually the lot falls off towards the alley. We do actually have here all in all about a 10-foot drop off. And sometimes you see the lines better than with other parcels. Like it just really depends what parcel you're looking at and what the slope is showing you here. So let's see here. I can zoom out a little bit and see if this shows me the lines a little bit better. You're basically looking here for the orange lines. I'm seeing here 52.4. Let's look a little bit closer down here. Okay, so I see 502. So let's see. I'm actually trying to gauge here the next one. Let me see. So I can barely see this. Yeah, it's 524. This is a 22-foot drop off to this area here. And you see how this is circular? So there's actually like really a lot of drainage going there, right? Because it falls off. So when you see a circle, that is actually the lowest spot. It says here 500 about. So it slopes down, right? So this is higher peaking. And you see also boundaries. You have a lot of other layers here that you can look at. Historic districts. We are in a historic district. Now historic has a lot of different layers here. So you can play around with this. For us, the zoning is a little bit more relevant for this one. But you're also seeing whether it's along a major collector street, which actually matters if you are looking for short-term rental eligibility that's non-owner occupied. In Nashville, the rule is that you have to be along a major collector street if it is a commercially zoned property that you can use it for residential, non-owner, short-term rental projects. Okay. So here we are along a major collector street. 10th Street is actually a very much like a smaller corridor here feeding into other areas of East Nashville. And then you also see here Nashville Next Concept Map, which is actually really cool because you can also type in Nashville Next Concept Plan here, Nashville Next Concept Plan, and then you see the master plan, and that's going to be key. Like, definitely recommend you to read up on this, right? That also gives you opportunity to like see, okay, what's the city actually supporting, and that's going to help you find also deals. So you've got even here problem solves and whatnot. We have got here also slope, so you kind of see what I was saying earlier. And then we actually do have stormwater as well, which is cool because it shows us sort of like where the stormwater is already located. I mean, here you can kind of also filter further. For us right now, this is good enough. And then any kind of water features. So here we don't have that. Now, if you're in different areas, you'll see those. Let me turn off actually the contour elevations. It's better to see. Here you've got like water features, right? They're blue. Okay, I'm just going to zoom back in. And then we'll zoom a little bit out. And then here you see zoning, we have that turned on, right? And now what you can also do here is actually you can go and do the last aerial imagery, which is just going to give you some better actual visualization of like the greenery and like how it looks and feels. I actually also love using Google Earth. Type in your property there, scoop around. I also love Google Maps, dropping the yellow guy there on the street and actually seeing what a street looks like. You can do a lot of like paper analysis here on the screen while you actually don't even have to like necessarily go out. Now, I always do love to tour in person as well, just because I need to kind of see the look and feel in person. But I do a lot of stuff, a lot of analysis already up front here just on the screen. And then keep in mind the legend here, that's going to give you everything that you need explained. So especially when you turn on the layers, that gives you more and more info here. So for example, if we go in here and we go back to the community character policy, which is actually really important stuff, then here now you see that this actually just extended. And then you see here, like we have here purple screening, right? So let's see, this is, it says transition. Let's see, we're actually here in an T4 urban neighborhood center. Okay. And so that is telling us that it is just more promoting density, right? We're in a really urban area. You also here have the downtown core, right? That's where you have the high rises. So anyway, the legend explains you everything further. One last feature that I want to show you guys, I'm going to actually go back here to this regular gray base map, is you have a measurement tool here. And here you can go onto feet and you can actually measure properties. And I love this because that gives me a good idea of, for example, alley widths or like any kind of like, reconfirmation of width or depth, and also maybe existing structures. So this is 56 feet wide here. It says 58 on this one, pretty close enough. And then if you want to reset this guy, you have to play around with it a little bit. So you usually like double click. Sometimes you got to play with this sometimes here, and it just reset. So now I see, for example, the width of the alley. So it says about roughly 15 feet. I think in reality, it's probably closer to 12. Yeah, it gives you an indication, right? And you can do the same thing here for area, which is great. So for example, if I want to see square feet of like how big this unit here is, right? And now I can go over here and have a rough estimate that the footprint here is 690 square feet for the first floor. So if I, think I'm going to do a 2 or 3 story building, then here I've got roughly shy of 700 times 2 or 3. So 1,400, 2,100 square feet, etc. And then here in the back, so I can double click. Back I have a dadu, right? So I can do the same here and see how big this guy is. So it's roughly 560 square feet. So if it's a 2 story, I've got here about like 1,100 of another additional square footage opportunity. I hope this is helpful. This is sort of a quick rundown here of a Parcel Viewer. Now, this is pretty much true all around the country. Just keep in mind, sometimes some Parcel Viewers are better than others. When you look on Google, just type in interactive GIS map, and then you'll find your tool in your city and your county. And if you need a deep dive there and you find this valuable, feel free to connect with us on Instagram or here on YouTube. I'll book a call with my team to chat about how you can get plugged in, because we want to make sure you have everything that you need. Yeah, we're pretty much here all about you learning the depth of this so that you are super independent and actually know your way here, how to find opportunities and make them happen. Now you know how to navigate the Parcel Viewer and pull the data developers rely on to uncover great opportunities. But if you want to go deeper, actually learn how to find, land, fund the deal, and manage development projects, join me inside Developer Academy. This coaching community is where I mentor agents, wholesalers, and investors, and anyone ready to step into real estate development with confidence. I'll link the details below, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and drop a comment with any other topics you would like me to cover. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you inside the Academy or here in the next video.